Blog Talk Radio.
You're listening to Critical Mass Radio. Now, it's our turn.
Hello and good evening. Thanks a lot for joining me. This is Out of the Matrix show with Rob Freeman yet again. How are you all doing? You alright? Everybody okay? Right, wow, what a week I've had. Unbelievable, really. Talk about highs and lows. If anybody in the chat room can just give us an okay, you can hear my voice. I always do this because no point in rabbiting onto myself. Yeah, anybody in the chat room, just give us an okay for my voice and I'll carry on. Yeah, so what a week I've had. Started last week. When was it? Last Wednesday I did a talk in Ashton, it is, yeah. Is it Ashton in Makerfield? Northwest Manchester type of thing. Yeah, and brilliant talk there. I really enjoyed doing it. Just want to say thanks. I've got some announcements to make. Who do I want to say thanks to? Yeah, I want to say thanks to Rob over at Ashton for organising the talk, our manager Paul for helping with it, and Alex for filming it and editing it. Yeah, so we started off great a week ago. I had a brilliant talk. In fact, it's on YouTube now and it's had about, bloody hell, 500 views in about 2 days. So yeah, it was good that. What do I want to talk about? Yeah, so thanks for that. I've got some more announcements here. Like I say, it's been a crazy week for me. It's talk about highs and lows. Anyway, that was a high point, and loads of people kept in touch from that talk. I've helped quite a few people out, and I've got some good information from other people as well. So yeah, so thanks for that. And what have we got here? Right. I want to say thanks to... I appeared in court. When was I in court? Yesterday. I just want to say thanks to... There's a whole host of people here that came to support me. But these are all I can remember. Pippa, Pete, Paul, Rob, Robbie, Ted, Dean, and whoever else I've forgotten. Thanks a lot for coming to court with me. Yeah, so we had a great time yesterday in court, but that's what tonight's show's all about, really. What I thought I'd do is I've had a court bloody thing hanging over me for the last 6 months now, and yesterday it came to kind of a conclusion. Well, actually, tomorrow's the final conclusion, so that's what I want to go through tonight. Basically, what I thought tonight's theme would be about is where I think we are in terms of the courts and the police. In my opinion, at what stage we are at now. I've probably been doing this now for about 5 years and I've seen a massive change. So tonight's sub-theme is winning and losing. What do I mean by that? Well, sometimes when you win you lose. You think you've won but you've really lost. And other times you think you've lost and you've really won. Sounds confusing but it's not. And that's what tonight's really all about for me. Okay, so usual rabbiting on back. Oh, I've got to tell you, I'm so excited. I've got my own jingle. I have got my own jingle. Oh, hang on, my headphones keep slipping. You know, I sat on my headphones by accident. I've had to tape them all back together again. Hang on, it's slipping off my head. Excuse me. Yep, I've got my own jingle. Shall I put it on? Yeah, let me put it on. Let me find it. You'll like this. Well, I hope you will. Thanks to Paul, whoever put this together. Where is it? Oh, how can I lose my jingle? My jungle. Jingle. Let's try this. Have a listen to this.
You're listening to the Out of the Matrix show with Rob Freeman. If anyone can, Rob can.
How good is that, eh? Oh, that's a jingle, isn't it? Wow, thanks. Oh, thanks for that. I've never had a jingle before. I'm all jingled up. Yeah, so brilliant. Hi, Lisa in the chat room there saying brilliant. Rob can. Yeah, thanks, mate. Well, I think I can anyway, so. Yeah, brilliant. Thanks for that. I love it. Oh, TJ in the chat room, whoever she is, says love it. I think I know that person. Yep, good jingle. Right, so I'm rabbiting on, aren't I? Okay, so tonight's theme's all about court, police. Slightly different to what I normally do. Well, there's a reason why, because I'm quite involved in it. Okay, so before I go any further, I think I ought to play this. Here we are. Just have a listen to this, just to make sure that these are my own opinions tonight and my own experiences.
CMR Critical Mass Radio in association with We All Change Manchester and Freedom Northwest. Please note the views and opinions expressed by the hosts on this show are not necessarily the views held by the station. CMR is for people who want answers, because now it's our turn.
Yeah, the all-important disclaimer, they always play that, so everything I say from now on is, well, from the start, is just my opinion. Okay, so let's get cracking. Well, I don't know where to start, to be honest. If I seem a bit up and down, it's because I've had a bit of an up and down week, really. Okay, bear with me. I've got a few lists here. I don't know why I've done that. I've made lists. I'm like, I've got OCD. I'm scribbling and making lists. It's because I was in court yesterday. All I did was scribble. Yeah, right. So I've had this court case thing hanging over me now for 6 months, and I want to go into it in detail. I've waited till tonight because I knew I was in court yesterday. Oh, by the way, I'm on show number 11. I always announce which show I'm on. I'm on show number 11. Wow, who'd have thunk? Who'd have thunk? Yeah, okay. So this thing's been hanging over me, and it's for driving offences. But I think when I go through it, and I hope it's interesting for you because it certainly is for me. It's about driving offences, basically, and by the time I finish tonight, you'll realise, and it's important for us all this, that this case was never about driving offences at all. That's what it's not about. Really, this case is all about really us keeping our fundamental freedoms and our human rights, and that's what it's really all about. So, where to start? Well, what I'll do is I'll rabbit on about what happened, and then every so often we'll stick a song in to have a bit of a rest. Kevo's there in the chat room. Hi, Kev, alright? Alright, how you doing? Okay, so, almost 6 months ago, just short of 2 weeks, 6 months ago, in a Chesterfield hotel, Derbyshire hotel, I did a talk on trusts. This is the whole thing about the driving offence, and you'll understand why it's important. I did a talk on trust. I did a really good talk. I had a room from the management, from the hotel, upstairs. We've done it a couple of times before. We had to pay them, I think it was 15 quid an hour, or whatever it was. We'd had it about 3 times, I think. So we said to them, if we go a little bit over, we had it for 2 hours. If we go a little bit over, we'll bung you a couple extra quid, no problem. We have it for 2 hours and 10 minutes. The talk is really, really good. I do a 2 hour talk. Everyone's gone. There's about 4 of us left, and we go to settle the bill, and they want to charge us for an extra hour. So 4 of us left. We decide, well, we don't want to be ripped off. Excuse me. Oh, I really do apologise. Sorry. Yeah, so we go back downstairs to pay. We've gone over 10 minutes. That's horrible, isn't it? Belching on air, sorry. Yeah, so we bung them, what do we bung them? 32 quid. This manageress who's newly appointed all of a sudden starts kicking off saying, no, we want another 13 quid. So we said, well, we won't have it 10 minutes. It was stood empty anyway. And I said to the other 3, shall we just pay it? And they all went, no, we don't want to pay it. Cut a long story short, we get into a dispute with the management. So in the end, I say to the manageress, there's only 4 of us left, remember, everyone's gone by now. I say to the manageress, look, I'll give you my name and address, bill me, and we'll come to some arrangement. I thought I'll bung her 6.5 quid. Anyway, she has a fit, this woman, I don't know, she has a bit of a problem. She decides to call the police. Over 13 quid. So I says to the others, well, we'll just wait for the police, what do you think? And so we waited for an hour for these 2, well, we didn't know there were going to be 2, for some police to come. Anyway, an hour later, a male and female copper turn up in a big van. We're stood outside having a fag and just waiting. We've waited ages, we could have just gone. So we wait for them, they come out, they approach us, and the big massive copper he is. He says, right, he says, you've had a dispute, and we said, it's a civil matter. He went, yeah, I know it is. He says, but I'm going to have to take your details. And I whispered to the other 3, I don't give my details, unless I really have to. Anyway, cut a long story short, the other 3 gave theirs, and he said to me, what's your name and address and all that stuff, and I said, well, to be honest, am I obliged to give you my details? And he said, well, yeah. I said, why? He said, so I can ascertain that you 4 don't go around ripping hotels off. I went, what, for 13 quid and we've waited for you? I said, well, has a crime been committed? He says, well, I don't know yet. I said, I'll tell you what, you go inside. If you establish a crime's been committed, I'll willingly give you my details. He went, well, if you don't, I'll arrest you. Well, all right, fair enough. Anyway, cut a long story short, he goes inside, comes back out, well, they both go inside, come back out 5 minutes later. The management have dropped it, no problem. So I say to him, so everyone's free to go? He says yes. I said, no one's under arrest? He says no. Brilliant. Police get in the van and go. Other people go. I'm the last one to leave. 5 minutes away from the hotel, on the motorway, the police van had pulled up and starts following me. So I thought, hello. Cut a long story short, I'm going 1 junction down the motorway to the service station. Just as I'm about to approach the service station, that van and 3 other police cars box me in a what's called, I think it's called a T manoeuvre or something. Anyway, they box me in, and I pull into the services. As soon as I get out of my car, I lock it up, and the only thing I've got a chance to say is, I say, that vehicle's tax assessed and insured, which it was on a trader's policy. Anyway, the minute I lock my door and say that, 7 male coppers and a female copper dive on me and instantly handcuff me. They asked me my details. I don't speak anymore now. I'm instantly arrested. So that's the driving offence that started it all. This is probably 6 months ago. So from there, I end up in jail overnight and all sorts. Anyway, hi, welcome back. Oh, sorry about this. I am covered in smoke. Wow. Yeah, Oasis there. I've ever told you. I think they're my favourite band. I think I might have mentioned that once or twice. Yeah, so if I cough, I'm ever so sorry, but I can just about see. It's like I'm sat on a hill in the fog. Right, it's clearing now. Right, brilliant. I can actually see my notes and see the screen. Sorry about that. Everything happens to me, doesn't it? Right, okay, so I'll try and get a bit more interesting. I can breathe. Yeah, okay, so continuing on with that story, yeah. So I get chucked in the slammer. I'm there for, I don't know, I think 24 hours or something. I don't speak to them. I don't give them anything. I'm out on bail. It'll get to more interesting, this. I'm out on bail. Due to appear, I don't know, I can't remember, a few weeks after. It's gone on for so long, this is crazy. Anyway, when the second court hearing comes for this, I'm charged with, let me have a look, I'm charged with 4 counts. I'm charged with driving with no insurance, having a bald tyre, and a bald head. No, sorry, just a bald tyre. Driving with no insurance, a bald tyre, not giving me details, and during the night, sometime during that first night in prison, in fact it was 7 o'clock in the morning, I was then re-arrested for driving whilst disqualified, and that's the big one. Okay. So I'm out, I'm on bail, I appear, I've been studying trusts and stuff, smoke effects on radio, I like it, Lisa, yeah. Yeah, so I appear at this next hearing, I've been studying trusts and I've been off and on about them. What do? I steam into the magistrate's court. Bear in mind, I'm now, if I get convicted of driving whilst disqualified, the maximum sentence they can give me is 6 months. This is a few months ago, this is probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago. So I steam into magistrate's court, I've done my own work, and I just basically take over. I walk in, nice and confident, not aggressive, but nice and confident, point to the magistrates, I tell them that I'm now convening a court of public record, point to the magistrates, say, you and you all swore oaths, you are public servants, so therefore you're my trustees, and the duly appointed administrator and the general executor, you're my trustees, dismiss the whole thing, get rid of the charges, and wipe it from your records, and I walk out. They don't have a thing to say, they're absolutely gobsmacked, and I've beat them. So I've done it. Case dismissed, quashed. Yeah. They don't know what to do with me, so what do? I took 7 witnesses with me. What do? 4.5 weeks later, 2 policemen come to my house with a warrant that I never saw, saying I never showed up at court. And because I was out on bail, they arrest me again. Anyway, cut a long story short, I'm now incarcerated for 3 full days almost. They dragged me to magistrate's court. I'm under their jurisdiction. This time I'm out on bail again. Anyway, cut a long story short, I keep saying that, don't I, but it's still getting longer. I'm then about to appear, I think it was 2 months ago. I managed to adjourn that one for some personal reasons I invented. So, the culmination of all this, I know it sounds like it's dragging on, but it's interesting. The culmination of all this was, after I managed to adjourn it that last time, was court case yesterday. I did a lot of work on it. I stayed up nearly all last week. I think I only got 3 hours sleep each night. I came up with what I thought was a system that was 99.9% sure that they could do nothing. If the magistrates had been proper judges and impartial like they should have been, I found a system, folks, and there might be better systems, there might be quicker systems, but I've found a way. Not all my own work, it comes in 3 parts, using trust as well. But the first part's not mine, I'll tell you what that is in a minute. I can't claim credit for that. But the other 2 parts are all mine. I've put it together, I've submitted an affidavit, that's a sworn statement of truth for those who don't know, into the court about a week before, and a motion to dismiss the whole thing. Now on paper it was absolutely brilliant. In fact, off paper it was brilliant. I tell you now, it cannot be beaten by those people. You can never ever, it sounds contradictory this, but you should never be able to be convicted of a statutory offence ever again, or be taken to court by any corporation, no matter what they're claiming, and us getting any sort of punishment for it. The system is perfect, it cannot fail. So what happened to me in court yesterday? It failed. So this is what I'm coming to now. How did it fail? I've gone over it, and I know Pippa in the chat room, she was there with me. I don't know what you think. If you want to type a message, Pippa, do you think it failed, or did they just circumvent everything? So the point I'm getting to, I'm going to go into the system that I used. The point I'm trying to make is I beat them hands down. I've always beat them, but usually they try and railroad me by shouting over the top of me. This time, because I had such a great system in place, I didn't use the trust thing, and I've got to keep experimenting. So what I thought I'd do is I'd go down their route, their legal route. So Pippa G's just saying they did not listen, you got no chance to talk. Yeah, exactly, Pippa. But they didn't do it loud, did they, love? They didn't shout over me. Very, very clever system, folks. They circumvented everything by procedure, very skillfully, very politely, smiling, being polite, speaking normally, not shouting, but circumventing everything I had to say was ignored. Every piece of evidence I'd got was ignored. And so I'll go into the details of exactly what happened. I know Pippa's done a fantastic transcript of what happened, if anybody wants it. I'm just reading the chat box. I keep stuttering because, one, I've got smoke in my eyes, but it's clearing. And one, I'm just reading Pippa's comments in the chat room. They did not confirm who was prosecuting and proceeded in their own merry way. Yeah, thanks, Pippa. That's exactly what they did. Okay. So, in effect, the sub-thing tonight is sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And if you think you've won, really, you haven't won anything. You might have got palmed off and think you've won. And sometimes, like myself, I felt like I'd lost everything yesterday. I've lost. I was rubbish. But when I look back, and thanks for the transcript, Pippa, when I read it over on paper, how the hell did I ever lose that? So sometimes by losing you really win. And what I realised is, and what I thought before I went into court yesterday is, the only way they're going to beat me and this system I've come up with, it's not all mine, it's 2/3 mine and 1/3 somebody else's. The only way they are going to beat me is to break the law and use force, and that's exactly what they are doing. So, I've lost, yeah, or have I lost? I don't think I have lost. I'll tell you what the outcome might be a bit later on. It's not looking good for me, but no matter what they do to me, I have not lost. For a start, I stood up against them like a lot of you people are doing, and a lot of people I know are standing up in court. As soon as you stand up in court to stop them destroying our fundamental freedoms and our human rights, as soon as you stand up, the result's irrelevant. It doesn't matter what they do to you. You've already won. So yeah, so I wanted to go in about exactly what happened, or not in too much detail, because I don't want to drag on for you. So, oh, by the way, every song I've chosen tonight, really the music's pretty good, but the lyrics on every single song mean something personal to me. They either evoke some sort of emotion, or the words mean something. So I think it's about another 6 songs or something. But yeah, if you crank it up and listen to the words, that's kind of what I'm really all about. Okay, Pippa's saying, you have not lost. Yeah, thanks, yeah. No, I've not lost now. I've not lost. I've kind of come second. I've come second in a boxing match, but I've not lost, if that makes sense. I'll tell you what it was like in there. It was like I was in a boxing match, but my gloves were tied together with some string, and I had a blindfold on. And every now and again, I think the referee gave me a bit of a dig, and that's what it felt like. Every time I got close, they sided with the other side. So I was like a barrister sat at front, wearing a Pippa with papers, and I looked so professional, and it all came to bloody nothing. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to stick another song on, get this smoke clear, and then I'm going to the system I've got. And what I want is, no matter what happens to me, I'll tell you tomorrow I might not be around for much longer, for a short while, but don't worry about it. It might not happen yet. But I want to give you this system now, so it's out there, and people who are a lot more clever than me can tweak it or even come up with something even better. Let's get on to this. Right, okay, what is the system I used? Okay, it took me ages to come up with this. So, it comes in 3 parts. If you hear any banging or scribbling, it's me just making notes as I'm doing it, because I can hardly see in front of my face. Okay, I use a system where it's in 3 parts. Okay, so the first part, I cannot claim any recognition for myself. This is from, I don't know if anyone's familiar with it. There's a chap called Maud Dibb. He was I think he was a guest on our Ref show, the prison show. Yeah, so Maud Dibb, very, very smart man, very clever man. He, for those of you who don't know, I think he made a documentary on the 7/7 bombings and ended up getting locked up over it. I think he did about 6.5 months. Very clever man. I'd like to meet him actually. Brilliant. And what he realised is that the crown. Everyone talks about the crown, and we perceive it to be Queen Elizabeth, don't we? Okay, so after being in prison, I think he somehow filed again for court. He studied the Bible, he studied God, he studied natural laws, and what he realised is, I don't know how he found out, but he has proved it beyond doubt. He ended up going to court again, and he produced evidence that proved that the Queen, Her Majesty the Queen of the House of Windsor, is a fake Queen. The reason being, this is all Maud Dibb's work. The reason being is when she was crowned, the coronation, I think it was 1952 or 3, I always get mixed up. Anyway, there is a stone called the Stone of Destiny, or the Stone of Scone. And cut a long story short, about a year before the stone was removed, I think every British monarch has been crowned on this stone. It was replaced with a fake. And Elizabeth knew about this, and so did everybody else. It's somewhere hidden in Scotland now. Now he's got the proof for all this. And what happened were the coronation was fake, basically, making the Queen fake and fraudulent, in effect. Also, amongst other things, this is all in Maud Dibb's defence, and he ended up, the case against him collapsed totally just based on this. The Queen's also committing treason, giving assent to a foreign power, namely the EU, the European Union. So not only is she not the lawful and rightful Queen, she's given assent to a foreign power committing treason, which is the EU, and she also broke her oath, a sworn oath to uphold God's law. Now, based on all that, the case against him was shattered. So yeah, Lisa's saying they'll Rusley to Scotland. Yeah, very important place, isn't it, Lisa? That's Scotland. 7/7 Ripple Effect. Yeah, was the documentary. Nice one, love. Yeah, so based on that, he has proved that the Queen is a fraudulent Queen, and everything she's done in her almost 60 years of reign has been fake and fraudulent. Added to that, everybody who works underneath her, i.e. the judiciary, the politicians, whoever, they are also fake as well, because she has got no authority, no power, and she is not our real Queen, so it makes those fake as well. So based on that, the whole case against him collapsed. So via a mutual friend, Maud Dibb, I got hold of it. I don't know if he sent it to me directly or to a friend of mine who sent it me and allowed me to use it. So that's I call it the Holy Trinity, my 3 parts. That's part 1. Thanks a lot to Maud Dibb and my mate who sent it me. So I'm allowed to use that. He had no problem. He said use it. Everybody who has used it so far, the case against them has collapsed on that alone. So I have that. I've already got the trust thing. I steam into them every time with the trust thing. They are acting as our executors of our trust when they are really trustees who get told what to do. So I steam into court and do the trust thing. Because they ignored it last time and just came and arrested me, I put that as part of the equation. Now, something more important than that, well, not more important, but just as important, is the part 3. And what I realised is, it dawned on me a couple of weeks ago, and that's how I came up with a defence that should not have lost, is a driving offence or any driving offence to do with the police or anything, it's always the Crown versus Rob Freeman. It was the Crown versus Maud Dibb. The case collapsed against him. Whenever I go to court, it's always the Crown versus, and what I realised is, hang on a minute, the thing's been staring me in the face for I don't know how long, and I've not looked at it properly. Which Crown? There's 2 crowns, isn't there, as we are well aware. There's 2 crowns. There's Queen Elizabeth of the House of Windsor, the Queen, that's 1 crown, and we know that there's a Crown Corporation, don't we? The inner city of London, the 1 square mile, the sovereign independent nation called the Crown. So I got to thinking, whoa, hang on a minute. The last paperwork I got was the Crown versus Rob Freeman. So I thought, hang on a minute, whoa, which Crown? Maud Dibb, I've already got the Maud Dibb defence. And I thought, well, if it's the Queen, I need them to identify which Crown. I know there's 2 crowns. We all know, us in the Truth Movement, we know there's 2 crowns, don't we? We're not supposed to know that. Whenever you go to court, it's just the Crown. So I telephoned them up. I rung, well, what it was, the Crown Prosecution Service decided to take me to court on behalf of the police. So no problem. I rung Crown Prosecution Service up, gave them my number, spoke to a woman on the phone, said hello. She went, oh, hello. I said, who have I just got through to? And she said, Crown Prosecution Service. I went, oh, lovely, it's all right. I said, you were so pleasant, I thought I'd rang the bloody vets or dogs home or something. You were ever so nice for about a minute. And then I said, yeah, I said, I've got a court hearing in my town. I gave her the number. I said, I just want to, for clarification, so it's only one question, and she was all friendly. And I said, just for clarification, can you just tell me which Crown you are? A bit of silence on the phone. She said, what do you mean? I said, well, can you just tell me which Crown you are? She says, well, I don't know what you mean. I said, oh, well, are you representing Queen Elizabeth of the House of Windsor, the living person, the Queen? And she didn't know what to answer. She went, well, yeah, I think so. I said, all right. I says, I wonder if you were representing the other Crown, the private corporation. She said, I don't know what you mean. I said, okay. I said, so you are representing Queen Elizabeth? She said, yeah. So I thought in my mind, brilliant, more dib, she's representing the Queen. And then she slipped up and said, well, I think we are. I said, what do you mean I think we are? She says, well, the other one's nothing to do with us. And I went, bump, got you. You've differentiated between the two crowns. You're admitting to me on the phone that there are two crowns. So I said, thank you very much. So you think that you're representing Queen Elizabeth? She said, yes. I went, thanks ever so much, bye-bye, boom. Within 5 minutes, I'd written a upspurt the pastor. Oh, that's teaser, yeah. Within 5 minutes, I'd written a notice out to the Crown Prosecution Service, giving them 7 days, and this is the defence I'm telling you about. I gave the Crown Prosecution 7 days to say, look, I've made a phone call, spoke to your employee. She's very unsure which Crown you are representing. Bearing in mind, she just admitted that there were two crowns. We're not supposed to know that. I said to the Crown Prosecution Service, please tell me which Crown you are representing. Are you representing Queen Elizabeth from the House of Windsor? Yep. Or are you representing the private corporation, the Inner City of London? A private corporation. Remember, folks, a private corporation has got no jurisdiction over you. All they can do is extend you the offer of a contract. Interesting. Okay, I gave them 7 days to reply. I addressed it to the man, or if he even exists, who had sent me the last correspondence from Crown Prosecution Service. I gave them 7 days, and what I said is, please identify yourselves, because I can't take, or nobody can take anybody to court unless they identify, the accusing party has got to be identified. It's called a legal uncertainty, by the way. So, 7 days, please identify yourself. If you do not identify yourself within 7 days, then you agree by your silence that you have no claim against me. You also agree to pay my fee schedule if you carry on with the hearing, because it's fraudulent and it's invalid. So I'll be charging you £5 for the day. That's about it, I think. I waited 7 days. Oh, sorry, yeah. I also put, if you are representing the private corporation, then please send me the contract that we have between us, because I don't recognise you. Remember, that's all they can do. So I said, send me a copy of the contract that we have both entered. If you don't send me the contract within 7 days, we have no further business together. I do not recognise you. Your claim is invalid. If you take me to court, it's going to cost you £5. So I wait. 7 days goes by, I don't hear a sausage. Quite clever, isn't it? I'm quite proud of it. I also had the trust thing to go with as well. Sorry, I keep forgetting because I've not written it down. I also told them that Mr. Robert Freeman is a trust estate, and address your reply, please, to the General Executor of the Trust. And I left it at that. 7 days goes by, I don't hear a thing. They've agreed by the silence. On that day, on that 7th day, I hear nothing from CPS, the Crown Prosecution Service, so they are servants, so they're my trustees. I get a letter in the post from the Magistrates Court, and a very nice letter, and all it says is, Dear Rob Freeman, are you still coming to court next week? I'm just reminding you, you've got a court hearing. Are you representing yourself? Do you need any witnesses? A lovely, friendly letter, but on the heading of the letter it said, police, not even the police, but just police v. yourself. First time ever I've not seen Crown Prosecution Service on a letter. Interesting. So, that's the basis of the defence. So based on that, the 7 days was up. I sent an affidavit into court about a week before, explaining all this, saying that the Crown haven't identified themselves. If they do identify themselves as representing Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth of the House of Windsor, then I sent in more Dibs defence in my affidavit. I said, if they are a private corporation representing the private corporation of the inner city of London, I found out, get this, the inner city of London, the Crown Corporation that we see, their trading name, get this, is Her Majesty in Right of England. Wow, I'm going to just read you that again. The trading name of the Crown Corporation, the inner city of London, that's all it is, a corporation. It's a nation, it's a sovereign nation on its own, but it is a private corporation. Their trading name is Her Majesty in Right of England. Very interesting. So I said to, are you representing Queen Elizabeth of the House of Windsor or... Oh, sorry, I sent the defence into court and said they've not identified themselves. If they are representing the human being, here's more Dibs defence. If they are representing Her Majesty in Right of England, a private corporation, they've got no contract in place. No contract equals no obligation. I sent it in as General Executor of the Trust and waited for them to back down. Okay, this is 7 days before my court case. Anon asked a good question there in the chat room. Are the police not a private corporation, Rob? Yes, they are. Anon 8295. Yes, all police. I think are they in areas or counties? Yeah, they're all private corporations. Everything's a private corporation, mate. In fact, I think it's Devon and Cornwall Police were taken over by IBM Computers. Yeah, so if you get arrested down there, you're getting arrested by a computer employee. Yeah, mate, they are private. Proving that's a little bit more difficult, but it's not as difficult to prove the Crown. Yeah, so where am I? Yeah, so I send it in 7 days, 6 days, 5 days. It goes down right to a day before, and there's no back down. Oh, is that Kevo? All right, no, all right, Kevo. Yeah, Kevo is a non. Okay. Yeah, so I thought they would have backed down because they've got nowhere to go. They've got absolutely nowhere to go. One more Dibs defence if they represent the Queen. 2, it's my trust. Get out of my trust. If you think you're going to have some of my equity, prove you've got some value in my trust and some authority. If not, get out. Thirdly, if you're a private corporation, there's no contract, so piss off. Wow. Really confident. I decided not to steam into court. Every time I go to court, I have conflict with the magistrates because I won't follow procedure. What I decided to do yesterday is follow their procedure because I've got a watertight case and this should win every time.
Good day, public. We are anonymous. Operation Jubilee, 5th of November, 2012. Gather peacefully at the Parliament Building, London, to declare the true Jubilee. Cancel all debt, stop war, redistribute the land, and eliminate poverty.
It's time.
With enough faith, united together we can move a mountain. It's going to take all of us. We are all anonymous. It's time to stand up for yourself, your family and your country. Show up and count yourself in the 99% anonymous millions. There can be no forgiveness without true and full repentance. If you do not repent, we cannot forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.
Chemtrails, child, animal and planet abuse, geoengineering, alternative energy, disclosure, prison planets, Agenda 21, drones, biometrics. This is CMR, Critical Mass Radio, leading the way to stopping the control with proactive hosts, shows and solutions, and informative groundbreaking guests. Critical Mass Radio, the People's Station. Now, it's our turn.
Yeah, hi, welcome back. If there's a bit of background noise, don't worry. We are smoke clearing and there's a bit of pots and pans rattling, yeah. Yeah, so, carry on. Where did I get to? Yeah, so, I can't believe... Oh, Jingle. Oh yeah, Jingle. It's #1 jingle. Like it. So I'm just reading the chat box. I'm going a bit senile. I keep talking to myself. Anyway, yeah, let's crack on with this. So, can't believe they haven't backed down. I've got what I think is a watertight defence. Well, it's not really defence, it's a form of attack. I also, okay, so the 4 charges, I've just had a Skype message through and I can't, alright, Kevo, yep. Let's have a look. Okay, I'll have to look at that in a minute. No, I can't multitask. I'm rubbish. Yeah, so I think it's a watertight, it's not a defence, it's an attack actually. So at last I'm trying to get them on the back foot. This is what I'm all about. I'm mirroring back what they do, which I know I keep harping on about it. But I've studied their system and thought, well, you can't have it both ways. You are either representing the Queen, which is then fraudulent, or you're representing a private corporation. Based on some advice I got from the Rev, great advice. The private corporation is it's a sovereign nation called the Crown, the Square Mile in London. They have no jurisdiction outside of their own independent state, so how can they have any jurisdiction over me? If I'm inside their 1 square mile, yes, but I wasn't, so they've got no jurisdiction over me. So that's what I got to court with. There are many other things as well. So I got to court yesterday. Some great people, like I say, turned up, and thanks to everybody for that. I had some fantastic support. Pippa and loads of people came. I was really chuffed. So what I thought I'd do is, oh, I've got flashing lights and all sorts all over here. I keep doing that, don't I? I'm rubbish. Okay, what I thought I'd do is, Pippa did a transcript. It's not a word, that for me. A transcript of what happened in court. Oh, where's it gone? And we're just going to get it up now as I'm speaking to you, because she did a great job on it. And what I thought I'd do is just go through what happened in court and how basically they shafted me, really. Next time, well, I hope there's not going to be a next time, but next time I'm ever due in court, I'm just going to send a 3-foot jar of Vaseline and say, just do it in place of me, because I ended up getting shafted anyway. Yeah, so, thanks Pippa, she's done I don't know how she did this transcript, she made notes. So, based on the notes, the transcript that Pippa made, it's easy to tell me what happened, to tell you what happened in court. Okay. So, the whole thing in court was I ended up sat at the front like a barrister representing myself. I didn't even want to do this. So, okay, I've got them 4 charges, remember. Driving with no insurance, load of rubbish. Bald tyre, load of rubbish. Not giving me details, load of rubbish again. And driving whilst disqualified, which was later on that night when I first got arrested. They brought that in later on. That's the big one, 6-month sentence if they so wish. Maximum sentence, 6 months prison sentence. Okay. I sent my licence back years ago because they tried to ban me. I can't remember how long ago it was now. All this, remember, happened back in April. I sent my licence back saying, you cannot disqualify me because I don't want a licence. You can't stop me from travelling. I've got no interest in having a licence, and I sent it back. So, at the end of April, I get arrested, and this is what they're charging me with. Okay, so when we go to court, I'm looking at these 4 charges. The arresting officer, well, there were 8 of them altogether. Remember when I told you about the hotel and the first incident? Well, I get to court, and I've loaded up to the police witness statements, and I realise that the police have changed the statements around. They've swapped and changed and lied and done all sorts. Interesting. So we get to court starts. I look like a barrister, even though I don't really know what I'm doing. I've got my mates at Public Gallery, give them a wave. I think it's about 10 people, and I'm really glad they were there. Prosecution go first. He told me he was a solicitor, he was a barrister for the Crown. So before it even starts, I say, well, who is this? Who are you representing? I ask him. No answer. Remember, I'm following their procedure this time, not to upset the magistrates. Nobody will let me identify who the prosecuting barrister, who he is representing. He won't identify himself. I've filed for a motion to dismiss the whole thing. How can anybody bring you to court when they won't identify themselves? Ignore me, just carry on. So the first copper gets in the witness box. He gets questioned by his own barrister for the CPS. Makes him look great. My turn, I get up. Okay, first I've asked who's bringing the claim against me, and they just say, are you making a plea? So, I'm not pleading. How can I plea when I don't know who's bringing a claim against me? So they ignore me and carry on. Okay, they just ignore everything I'm saying. So, PC Mark Walton, I'm going to name you because you were there and you're a liar. So I'm going to name you. This is me nothing to do with Critical Mass Radio or anybody else. This is me saying it. PC Mark Walton, you are a liar, and you're a liar on oath. So he gets up, and it's my turn to question him. Yeah, brilliant. I don't know if Pippa agrees. It was so uncomfortable. It was different when he was shouting and shoving me about. You know, when they arrested me, they had my arms up in the air, handcuffed for 20 minutes before they took me off. Yeah, he didn't like it when I was questioning him on oath. Basically, I'm not going to go through it all, but he had nothing. I beat him on everything, I think. I don't know what you think, Pippa, but he had nothing. I made him look a bit of an idiot. He lied. I could tell he was lying. I said, remember, he's not the man that turned up outside the motel, which was the original reason for being arrested. I said, how many people were outside the hotel? He said, I knew it weren't him. It was a chap called Mark Price. By the way, PC Mark Price, you are a liar. So they swapped witness statements. So this chap, I said, how many people were outside the hotel when you turned up? He said, 5. I said, no, there wasn't. There was 4. He then quickly said, oh yeah, a member of staff was there and they went inside. Liar. What else? What else did I say? Anyway, that's that incident. I also questioned the female copper that did turn up at the hotel, which is the main reason for arresting me, you see. It was vindictive on their part for me not giving me details. The woman copper, I said to her after he'd given evidence, how many people were outside the hotel? She said, I don't know. So what do you mean you don't know? Didn't you write it down? She made a report about 2 months after. She says, well, I could guess. I said, you can guess. You don't even know. I said, well, I was there. I said, that gentleman who was with you now, that copper, was not the one that turned up, which he wasn't. Anyway, cut a long story short, I keep saying that, don't I? That was that bit. I've just got a message off Pippa, and I'm going to read it because... Oh, my headphones are slipping. Oh, yeah, good point, Pippa. No wonder PC Walton... I think that was a chap. He didn't use his statement to refer to at the trial, as it wasn't his. Well said, love. I've forgotten about that bit. He was doing everything from memory, the policeman, understand, the male, because he wasn't there. And like Pippa says, he didn't bring his statement. He didn't bring anything because he wasn't even there. Anyway, I hope this is not boring. I hope it's quite interesting for you. Anyway, when they made the arrest at the service station, they arrested me for those 3 things. So I questioned them about that. I said the car was on a trader's policy. I asked them under oath, what is the procedure for a car with no insurance? I said, how did you come to that? I think they radioed it through and got a, what's it called, AMPR or something. But they didn't have it in the car, they had to radio through. So it came up as no insurance. Oh, hang on a sec, another message. Oh, wow, thank you very much. A really nice message from Paul. Cheers, mate. Okay, I hope you can follow this, and if not, get it back on podcast, because it's quite interesting. I just don't think I'm putting it across very well. Anyway, how did you come across, how did you get information that I had no insurance? It was radioed through. I said, what is the procedure for no insurance on a vehicle? Well, we impound it and take it away, and if it's not collected, we crush it. Okay, was that vehicle impounded? No. Why not? And I can't remember the answer, but I asked her the same question, and she said we couldn't ascertain whether it was insured or not. So hang on a minute. I'm here for no insurance. Are you telling me it was or wasn't insured? She said, well, we gave you the benefit of the doubt. So hang on, I'm up for a charge here of no insurance, and she gave me the benefit of the doubt, and it wasn't impounded because they couldn't ascertain whether it was insured. Well, it was. It ran a trade policy. So, charge number 1, fuck off, excuse me, go away. Okay, bolt tyre. I conceded that one. I thought, I'm going to be honourable, I'll give him something. So I said, okay. I said, I concede that my tyre might have been under tread. I don't know. I don't even know what to look for. So I said, yeah, I'll concede it might have been that, but where was the measuring device to check? No one came out with a measuring device. So I left that one hanging, and I didn't mind taking that one, because at the end of the day, I might have been driving about with a bit of a bolt tyre. So I conceded, trying to be honourable. Okay, so charge number 2's hanging. I don't mind taking that one. That's a fine and some points on your licence. Some licence that I've not got. So okay, I'm trying to be honourable here. I concede that might be true. I'm not disputing that. Okay, so charge number 3 was not giving me details. This is a big one. This is a good one. Not giving me details when they arrested me. They said they spoke to me for 5 minutes. I was uncooperative. I was acting, well, I can't remember, agitated, I think they said. So they decided for my safety and their own safety to handcuff me and arrest me. Lovely. They didn't. What they failed to tell you was the second I set foot out of my car, 8 of them dived on me and cuffed me instantly before they even said a word. They didn't need to say a word because they'd already been told from back at the hotel that I wouldn't give them my details. So, I'm immediately cuffed and stuff, like I say. So they're lying again. They're all lying. Where was I? Okay, yeah. So, third charge, not giving me details. I say to the policeman on oath, on the stand, I say, is it an offence to not give you details? They say yes. I said, what law? I can remember right, and they can only quote a statute. Excuse me. So I say to the police on the stand, did you quote pace? Now, not give you details is not an arrestable offence, but it is an arrestable offence if they have got a reasonable suspicion that you are engaging in a crime or have engaged in a crime. Just having a sip of water because of the smoke. So I say, did you quote pace? And the police officer very skillfully doesn't know what to do. He's panicking now. It's a simple question. He won't answer the question. Yes or no. Did you quote pace? In the end, he admits that he utilised pace. Now, hang on a minute. If you don't give details and they are suspicious, they have to quote PACE, which is the Police and Criminal Evidence Act. They have to quote it and tell you you are arrested under PACE. In other words, they have reasonable suspicion that you are engaging in criminal activity or have engaged in it, and they want to take you back to the station for further questioning. Now they have to quote PACE. I asked him 3 or 4 times, did you quote PACE? He kept saying, I utilised pace. Okay, the magistrate said, I think, Mr. Freeman, he's answered enough. So every time I got him, and he was panicking, his face was going red, and he was scratching his bollocks and didn't want to be there, he got saved by the magistrates. And same with the girl. She said I wasn't the arresting officer, but she knew pace has to be quoted. So, 3 charges, insurance, gone. Not giving details, gone. Bold tyre, alright, you can have that one. 4th charge, and the big one. Driving whilst disqualified. Okay. I tell the magistrates, disqualified. What I decided to do is not use Freeman principles. I'm going to use your laws, your words against you. So, using Black's Law Dictionary, I tell the magistrates, I tell the prosecuting barrister, and I tell the police, I tell everybody, okay, what are you saying I can't do? You're disqualified from driving. That's the big charge. That's the charge that will get me 6 months. Bearing in mind I've beat them on the other 3. The bold tyres at least hanging. So they've got nothing so far. Disqualified whilst driving. I quote Black's Law Dictionary. These are your words, magistrates, police, barristers. These are your words. That's not me interpreting, is that right? Interpreting your words from a free man, lawful point of view. I'm not doing that. These are your words in your books that you stick to. Disqualified in Black's Law, 9th edition, I think it is. Definition of disqualified, to make ineligible. Okay, I'm telling them this. Ineligible means unable to serve in office. Hang on a minute. Listen, folks, you can never, ever, ever be disqualified from driving. You can never be. You can be disqualified from serving in office. I tell them, I show them it's written down. I don't want to serve in office. So basically, all they can do by disqualifying me is make it ineligible, make it unable for me to serve in office. In other words, they're preventing me from being a government agent and working for the government. That's exactly what I want, don't I? I don't want to be a government agent. So they're thus proving my point, aren't they? What happens, and I think Pippa can remember the exact wording, I've got them. The big charge, they cannot convict me. Not only has the person bringing the claim never identified themselves, there's no claim, they cannot get me on disqualified because it means sweet FA, it means I cannot be a government agent. What do the magistrates do? And these words echoed round for about 4 hours after. He said that definition from the legal books has no merit. Wow. I'll just say that again. The lead magistrate, the one in the middle, says, or it might have been the legal expert, the clerk, I can't remember which one it was, I think it was the chief magistrate. He says that definition has no merit. Okay. This is my life in the balance here, 6 months of my freedom here, and their laws, their words, in their books, their definition has no merit. Okay, that's code. What that means is we don't give a toss. We're not even sticking anymore by our own laws. We're making them up as we go along. That's what that's saying. What I'm trying to get at to folks, I sound like an old man, don't I? Well, I am an old man. What I'm trying to get to is it looks like we're losing. I got shafted. They are being even more, how can I explain it? I know the corruption, I've been doing this 5 years now in court, I knew the corruption was bad, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. They are now even ignoring their own rules and regulations and laws. Now, I thought it was a bad thing, and it's going to turn out bad for me, but why are they doing it? They're doing it because we're getting closer. Chaps and chapesses, we're getting closer. I saw people rattle. I don't know if Pippa agrees. I don't know if anybody else who came with me is listening tonight. They were rattled. The barrister walked past just before the final decision when we were outside in the foyer and dead-eyed me like I'm the type of bloke who goes around kicking puppies. He gave me the dead eye, and everybody burst out laughing. He wanted to kill me. And he still won. They won. Now, the reason he dead-eyed me is the jig's up. It's not going to happen now, and it might not happen in 6 months, but the jig's up. We're onto them. And they know it. And that's why they're being more and more and more ruthless. They're breaking their own laws. How can their laws have no merit? It's absolutely impossible, isn't it? Sorry. If it's got no merit, it means they've got free rein just to make things up as they go along. So let's crack on with this, because we've not got that long left. What we've got, about 25 minutes. It is coming to a conclusion, this. I think you might find it quite interesting. Okay, so tonight's theme was sometimes when you lose, it's about winning and losing. Sometimes when you win, you've really lost, and sometimes when you lose, you've won. Okay, I'll tell you the conclusion of what happened yesterday then. Okay, so based on everything I've just told you, it looks like I should have done. On paper, I should have won. An interesting part I've got to tell you about is I requested that the police officers, the most important tool a police officer has got, or weapon, or whatever you want to call it, is not their truncheon or their CS gas or whatever. It's their pocket notebooks. I'll tell you why it's important. I've said this before. Their notebooks have to be filled in what's called, I never get this right, contemporaneous form. In contemporaneous form. And what that means is, whenever they attend an incident or anything, they have to make notes into that notebook in real time, with the date, the time, even minute by minute. It all has to be logged and recorded. They're not allowed to mess about with these notebooks because it's written evidence of everything. It backs up. It shows no liability for them because they're doing everything in stages. Their bosses, their gaffers, always look at their notebooks and I got this from an ex-copper a few years ago. They can't be messed around with, or they shouldn't be messed around with, and their gaffers will not stand any messing about with their notebook. It has to be done in real time. That's okay. I questioned both police officers on the stand about the notebooks. I asked them, did they fill them in? I requested that I see, because I knew the coppers had swapped the witness statements round and everything, I requested that the matter be adjourned so that I can bring in as evidence their notebooks in contemporaneous form. Okay, and what happened was I got shafted once again by the magistrates. They sided with the coppers, again on the CPS, so they're all in it together. Okay, so conclusion of it all yesterday was they retired for, they said, I think 10 minutes, but it ended up being 30 minutes when they went out to make their decision. We kind of both sides summed up. I didn't recognise that anybody could be disqualified. I didn't recognise that you had to have a licence. I would not recognise it. I didn't deny that I was the one driving. I was the one outside the hotel. I was the one that was pulled over and arrested. I didn't deny any of that. And I even said one of my tyres may have been under tread. So I acted as honourable as possible in that courtroom. And I kept my temper, which was pretty good as well, because once or twice I wanted to get up and do a kung fu kick or something. But anyway, I acted honourably. I thought I did anyway. And I just got shafted from start to finish. It was as if everything I said was disregarded. In fact, that's what it was. But they retired. I went out for a fag with my mates, come back in. I thought I might get a bit of a result. What happened was I proved them on all 4 counts. Well, let's say 3 out of the 4, especially the big one, disqualification. Hammered them. The one with the bow tie, I thought, well, I've got to give him a little bit. I can't be greedy. And it's only right. Oh, I've got a Skype message come through. Hang on, excuse me, things are flashing and stuff. I've had smoke and flashing lights unlocked tonight, haven't I? Just let me get rid of this. Okay. Yeah, so as far as I'm concerned, I beat him on everything, and we left the bow tie hanging, and I weren't bothered which way that went, but they still had no measuring device to definitely prove it. So they retired, they came back, and stood up, stand up Mr. Freeman. The Chief Magistrate reads his bits out, and results, charges 1, 2, 3, guilty, guilty, guilty. Charge number 4, disqualified whilst driving. Any disqualification, by the way, would have been up in 2 weeks. Disqualified whilst driving, guilty. So, lost a lot. Lost everything, gutted really. So, they were ready to let me speak to probation officer there and then, and they were ready to sentence me there and then. Interesting. So, quick thinking, asked them to delay sentencing, please. I've got 2 children, I need to pick them up, I need to make arrangements, and that's how it was left. So, this is it, folks. I've got to go back tomorrow morning. Incidentally, it says 9:30 on the letter, but I was told 10 o'clock. I'm bailed now. I have to go back and get my punishment tomorrow. So, not looking forward to it. So I beat him, and I don't beat him, I lose. I just get shafted, don't I? So whenever I get arrested or whatever happens, or court, or if I get shafted in court, that same day I'm always a little bit low on energy and a bit down. And what happens is I get some sleep and I get up next day and I'm bouncing. And so, believe it or not, even though my house is just nearly caught fire, I'm bouncing. I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered. Now, a lot of people that know me, a lot of my friends now have said, look, you've gone on too far now, Rob. Not just with this case, but with a lot of other things. And nearly losing the house with the mortgage last Christmas, they said, don't you think you ought to just, tone it down? And in the cold light of day, in reality, I agree with them. I say, yeah, you're right. I'm just pushing it too far. But I knew that I would end up getting 6 months from this if it all went tits up. Or I could possibly get 6 months. They don't have to, but the maximum sentence they can give me is 6 months tomorrow and I'm off. That's it. No questions asked. Excuse me. Now, I knew that when I got into this. And when I'm sat in a cafe or in a pub with my mate and he said, look, you think you ought to calm things down? I agree with him. But I don't want to swear because it's not 9 o'clock yet, but something fucking happens and I think, no, I can't. I've got to keep going. And the reason I've got to keep going is these arseholes are just out of control. They are never, ever, ever going to stop unless we get one major result. Think about it. If I'd have got the result, that I deserved, I'll say the word, I should have deserved it. Look at the implications for them. Never, ever again will we ever be convicted of a statutory offence. Never, ever, ever will a corporation be able to take us to court and win. Why? Because the judges and magistrates are working under the Queen, who's fraudulent, so their job is fraudulent, they have no authority. If it's the Crown taking us, a private corporation, where's the contract? If you're working for, representing Queen Elizabeth, it's fraudulent. Throw the trust in as well, we can never ever lose. That's why yesterday it was so important for them to skillfully manoeuvre things. They never railroaded me shouting abuse because I was following procedure. They very skillfully followed their own procedure, got me to follow, and disregarded everything I say. Very, very clever. They worked really hard on it. So, this is probably a 2,000 or 3,000 year old system I'm trying to fight here. So, Rob Freeman is a knob. Why didn't I just back down? I could have pleaded guilty 6 months ago. I wouldn't have had any prison. I'd have got a fine. A lot less a fine than what I would have now. And it was 6 months ago. I'd probably be driving again now. But now, look what I'm faced with. I'm trying to take them on. A massive fine, which I'm never going to bloody pay anyway. Points on my licence. I thought the more points you got, the better driver you were. I think I'm up to 119 now. I thought he meant I'm a great driver. All right, telling me now. He could have told me a few years ago. So, look where I'm at now. I'm up the creek without a paddle on her, and I could be looking at 6 months prison. So, is it worth it? Do you know? If I'd have known the result beforehand, I'd still do it. I'm a mug, aren't I? I'm a mug. And I don't know why, but I don't know. Every fibre tells me, I don't want to swear, but fuck 'em someone's got to stand up to them. And I've realised I've won, haven't I? I've won. It don't matter if they stick me behind bars for 6 months. Who cares? I'm free. I'm free in my head, in my mind, and I'm free in my heart. What's a few bars and a stupid prison room and a bit of prison food? They can't stop me being free, and they can't stop you being free, or anybody else. It's not about your result here, is it? And you know, and we might not get a victory. We might not be able to beat these people. They're so clever. They're so clever. We might never beat them in this realm that we're living in now. We might never see a positive result, or we might be, you know, it might be 10, 20 years down the line. But it's not even about now. I don't even look at it like that. It's not about a result in this realm, living in this world here. It's about bringing that system down, isn't it? It's about bringing that evil down. I said in my talk, I can't remember when it was, well, that one in Ashton, I think. There's a lot of evil going around the world. It's so obvious. It's overpowering. It's in every avenue you can think of. But you know the real sad thing, it is that evil that's happening. Just locking people up with the drop of a hat for nothing, and many worse things as we know. But the sad thing is not really the evil. It's our apathy, really. The evil is a consequence of our apathy. And so based on that, all right, 6 months out of my life, it's going to be hard. I'll probably end up losing my house if I can't pay my mortgage. But what is it? It's nothing, is it? It means absolutely nothing. The fact that... Sorry, my little lad's coughing. Sorry, it's a bit smoky here, mate. Sorry. The fact that they've had to break the law and say everything just cheap assholes to get me to get locked up. Why do they want to lock me up if they do decide to lock me up? They may not yet. I'm not crossing my fingers, I'm not holding my breath, because they want to make an example of me, because I beat them. I did a talk not long ago and I saw confidence in people's eyes, a light in people's eyes. I saw it again at Ashton last Wednesday. Fantastic crowd. I don't know how many people were there. I saw it. People were buzzing. You could feel the energy. In the same way I saw that positiveness. It probably weren't apparent yesterday in court for Pippa and everybody were there because they were sat behind glass. I saw fear in them people's eyes. Those magistrates, I saw fear in their eyes. The solicitor, he said he was a solicitor, he was a barrister. Crown prosecution don't send solicitors, they send barristers. He wouldn't even look me in the face. A fat lump, middle-aged lump from Sheffield, I beat them all. And I beat them all fair and square. I saw fear in their eyes. Fear for what? Fear for being exposed, for the corrupt bastards they are, and for being held accountable, for being held liable for what they're doing. So, can you see my sub-theme tonight? Have I lost? Have I ever lost? I might have lost temporarily, but no matter what happens, I've not lost. A great quote, it kept going through my mind yesterday, and it's a quote from Martin Luther King. He said, never forget that everything Adolf Hitler did in Germany was legal. It's a great quote. Legal. This legal system that they all live behind, that's been created, it's the most evil system there is. It ought to be called lethal. Adolf Hitler never did anything in Germany that was illegal. Everything he did, rounding up of the Jews and everything, was legal. It's an incredible system, and this is why I'm reminded why I do what I do and why we are doing what we're doing. It's a system that for the criminals to hide behind, as we know. And yesterday proved it even more. So why were they so blatant? Why were they so panicky yesterday? Why did they just not listen to a word? Because some muppet from a council estate's beat them. Because we are getting close. Honestly, folks, we are getting close. And it's got to get worse before it gets better. There's got to be a massive breakdown before we can build it all back up again. And that's how I view things now. I'm more confident by getting a bad result because I know it's not a bad result. Oh, thanks, Homebrew. Rob Freeman, the Beacon. Is that because I've got a big nose? Yeah, cheers, mate. Excuse me. Bit of smoke. Yeah, so I might be hopping on, and don't be depressed or anything. I might sound a bit depressed. It's not, I'm just tired, that's all. I'm actually buzzing, and I'm going to go in there tomorrow, and I'll just take what comes. It's a boxing match, and alright, I've been smacked around a bit, so what? It's not the first time, is it? Flipping smack them back one day. So, we can't beat them. Now, you might think I'm talking negative now. We cannot beat them in court. I've done the trust, and like Lisa says there, the truth. Trust is the truth. We have entrusted these people. Our apathy elevating them into this position of power, or perceived power, this position of authority, and they've got carried away. The psychos are so far gone. It's the courts and the police lying. Oh, it made me laugh. The policeman got off the witness stand. I might be rabbiting a bit here because it's all whirring around in my mind. Policeman gets off and he's finally being interrogated by me, and he says to the three magistrate, "Thank you, your worships." And I look at him, this great big fat 6 foot odd bloke, and I think, you twat. Your worships, it says everything, doesn't it, folks? Thou shalt not worship a false idol. They're gods sat up there, well, the next best thing to God, in this Roman satanic cult, bloody court. They're high priests of Saturn, of Satan, and he's bowing down, worshipping them. Same with the barrister, thank you very much, your worships. It's all bollocks, it's got to end. And like I say, this is why I do what I do. It's never going to end until somebody goes that extra mile, and alright, whatever happens, next time I go, I'm going to shove it right up and I'm going to keep going. All they can do is keep temporarily punishing me, can't they? And there's other people like me, it's not just me, I'm not trying to take praise, there's loads of people having a go now. And that's why I try to come up with that formula, so we can have a go with something that works. And the same with the mortgages, the same with the cars, the whole bloody system, the education system, those evil people in social services, not all of them, I'm not talking about all of them. There are good elements in all these avenues of life, but they've been hijacked, haven't they? They've been taken over by this evil entity, and it's spread its tentacles everywhere on it. And I hope I'm not rabbiting on here. And you've got it in every walk of life, haven't you? You've got it in government, you've got it everywhere. And I don't even know how these people can lie straight in bed. They've just got no remorse, have they? No conscience. And like I say, there are good people, but I mean these police people. Police corruption is unbelievable. Now, what happened? At what point did they just get out of control? And it's not a few of them. It's everywhere. The corruption is rife. So whether I get a victory or people better than me get a victory in court, and we do get some results, and we are starting to get a few, the whole thing, all we've got to think, folks, is it's going to destroy itself. If we don't beat them, we might facilitate it. If we don't beat them, the whole thing is so evil, it's so insidious, it's just going to consume itself. Eventually, it will destroy itself, because greed can never be stopped. If you are a psychopathic, greedy entity, the greed eventually they'll turn it onto each other and they'll self-annihilate. If we don't beat them, they'll self-annihilate. So it ain't going to go on forever. And let's hope, let's not hope, I know, for our kids there's going to be something a lot better for them, and this is why we're doing what we're doing, aren't we? This is why we're here now. You could all be sat at a pub or watching Coronation Street or whatever, and you're listening to me rabbit on, aren't you? Yeah, so if I seem a bit down, I'm not down, I'm just a little bit tired, that's all. Yeah, so we can't win in court. It sounds like I'm being negative, I'm not. The reason we can't win is at the moment, they'll just change everything. And like I said, they're becoming more open, they're making mistakes, they're flaunting it, and the reason being is they are scared shitless. So I seem a bit flustered tonight, and it's not, I'm not down or anything, I've just, got a lot to think about. Yeah, so, what we got? Andy Peter is on with the Earth Needs Rebel show. Alex is not on tonight, Andy's on at 9 o'clock. So, I'm going to push off in less than 10 minutes. Well, I don't really know what to say to you all. For once, Rob Freeman's lost for words. It's all gone really quiet, isn't it? I've not disconnected. I'm a bit lost here. I usually prepare and know what I'm saying, but I seem a bit bloody lost now. Yeah, what I'm going to say is, hang on, I've got another little message. People are sending me messages. I've been inundated with them. Oh, hang on, I may have got a phone call coming. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. I'll try and get it. I'm just waiting for a message to come through, so I'll keep waffling. Yeah, for once I am lost for words. That's very, very unlike me. Not that I'm a loud person, but I've got a quick sort of mind, and I'm usually chatting away. Just waiting for this message to come through. Yeah, so what am I saying is we can't beat them at the moment because they are cheating like F, aren't they? And the more they cheat, the more mistakes they're going to have to make now. It's becoming more and more obvious. We've got the critical mass number of people, in my opinion. The only thing we've got to do is link up Don't lose faith, don't lose heart, link up, and let's shove it up them. We're going to get some shit results, aren't we? Some of us are going to get hammered, like myself, and like other people. Like Roger Hayes got locked up, Robert Green got locked up. We all, lots of people have been locked up when they shouldn't have done, so it's not just me, is it? And that's the price, we've got to pay that price. It's a small price to pay, isn't it, really? Because in the end, what choice have we got? The sleepwalkers, we have to be quick, Paul, with this message. I think I'm running out of time, mate. It's alright, Paul's typing away or writing away there. I'll probably run out of time, mate, for Andy. Oh, are you in?
I'm in, mate.
Oh, blimey. You alright, mate?
Listen, just coming to the end of the show, so I just want to be quick, mate.
Okay, mate. Thanks for beginning, Paul.
Yeah, no, what it is, it's a message from everyone, really. It's just because you're a modest chap, but what you don't realise and what you're not sort of pointing out is that the work that you've done and you do, and you're putting yourself forward, and I know you're sort of driven inside, the knock-on effect that it's having and the influence that it has to everyone that you put this to, everyone at the station, everyone at the talks, everyone who's watching all your videos around the world. You don't know what an influence and a knock-on effect, and people are actually putting into practice what you do. So
really?
You have, mate, and you need to know this because you're a massive influence on everyone around you. We're all with you. We're all thankful, and we appreciate that you do put yourself out there. And there's people that are wanting to put themselves forward and do the same, so you're not on your own. So it's a thank you really from everyone, and I just think you need to know that, mate, and we're with you all the way.
Oh, right. I'm even more lost for words now, Paul. Yeah. Oh, cheers. Thanks. Yeah.
Okay, mate. I'll get going. I'll leave you to it, and we'll speak soon. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Paul, for that. Yeah, I'll be in touch anyway. So cheers, mate, for that. Thanks.
Ciao, bye.
Okay. Bye. Ciao. Bye. Cheers, Paul, for that. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. What have we got? I don't know. 5 minutes left. 4 minutes left. Okay. What's left? Do you know? I'm just going to say good night. I don't really know how to close it tonight, so I want to finish with a song. And it's a great song. It's by a country singer called Taylor Swift, and it's called Change. So, if nothing else, try and listen to the lyrics of this song, crank it up at the end when I start to play it. So, show number 11 out of the way. I hope to be here for show number 12 next week. If not, don't worry about it. Bake me a massive cake with a massive file in it, because I'll have one of them suits with the claros on it. Don't worry, you've all getting a visiting order to come and see me. So, if I'm not here next week, don't worry about it. And if I am, brilliant. So, thanks ever so much for listening. I've been a bit all over the place tonight, but don't worry about it. And my kitchen caught fire, but never mind, these things happen, don't they? So, thanks, Philip, there saying good luck tomorrow. Yeah, I'll let everybody know in some form or whatever. You're all brilliant. I love you all, as you know. Everyone involved with this radio station, Critical Mass Radio. I don't really know what else to say, but thanks ever so much. And it'll probably be all good news anyway, because you can't keep a good man down, can they? So, hopefully, we'll all be raising a glass at our next party. So, thanks for listening, everybody. You've been absolutely brilliant, and I'll see you all again soon. And like I say, try and listen to this song. It's called Change by Taylor Swift, and it's really what I'm about and what I think we're all about. So thanks a lot. Cheers. Good night, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.